don't even know, really. I'm hoping that maybe this will... Okay, let me try again. Back in the day, not very long ago, I am an exercise fiend. So I love to exercise. And since I became a mother, I made sure my exercise happened at home because I'm the only teacher. I'm the only caregiver. I don't have a nanny, it's only me. So when your children are young, you can't go out and leave them alone to go jogging out there, walking out there, or going to the gym. Plus, the gym costs money. So here I am. I exercise at home. I use a lot of YouTube videos. I was a dancer in junior school, and I did some African music and dancing when I was in high school. So I loved to move. And then in varsity, I'll get to the point. And then in varsity, I loved to do exercise. I joined the university for our residents exercise group. I think we met every Monday for an hour. We did lots of typo, etc. And until then, except for winter when things were bad, I was able to exercise, like really exercise. Besides that, I'd be walking up and down to campus. Those who know South Africa, those who know UCT, University of Cape Town, you know the campus, like mid-school, because that's where we were. Our lectures were at mid-school, but then we did psychology on main campus, upper campus. All of that was walking. And then my friend and I would jog from Rondebosch from Mowbray, Rosebank to Rondebosch, back. We'd walk from Rosebank to Wynberg and back. I loved to move. So the fact that I can't move now, it's one of those things I mourn a lot. And I was one of those who wanted to be perfect at what I do. I want to do everything to the best of my ability, in the Christian sense, that everything you do it with all your might, in that sense, according to that Bible verse. Not as in, look at me, I'm perfect. So there I was. And I had all these other operations from when I was a child, 3 years old, and I had all these other problems. The bones. This is where we come to the bones. I was saying, so here I am. Let me just go back to the exercise. So here I am now. I'm exercising at home, hopefully every day, and walking with my children and playing with my children. And as time goes on, things get harder and harder. So I have to now change the exercise format. And I needed to do more low impact things. So I moved on to low impact exercise workout videos. And I would come across people who would then mention some of their health problems. One of them is Juice and Toya. I do their workouts, and she mentioned that she had lupus, and I could relate so clearly to her suffering that I even posted about it. This is before I knew that I had what I have, which is also an autoimmune disease. And she would talk about the symptoms. And I thought, oh my word, I can relate so much. I know I don't have an immune disorder like she does, but I can relate. And it just felt good to know that, she looks normal. And that's the sad thing. But at least she gave us a glimpse into the reality of what she's going through. And it was like me, she's saying on some days when things are bad, she doesn't exercise, or she would be the one doing the modifications, not because she's doing the modifications, but because she can't and she's suffering. And that is me, because when you look at her on video, she looks like this young, healthy, fit thing. You don't realize that there's a lot going on underneath her skin. And that is what it's like for me. I know because I see it and I hear the comments. Oh, you look so good today. And you're thinking, I'm here. I've used 6 pain tablets to get to the state of looking good today. Plus, I'm not going to whine. And so I'm not going to walk around like this, all miserable, showing what's going on inside, because that's not who I am. I know there are some attention seekers, there are malingerers, but I'm not one of them. So when you ask me, how are you? I'll just say, I'm fine. I won't tell you, wow, really? Do you really? I don't ask, do you really want to know, or are you just asking that just for the sake of being polite? I I just answer, because generally people do ask just for the sake of being polite. They don't really mean it. So it was good to know that there were people like that. And I thought, okay, let me add to them. If she could encourage me or give me strength, then maybe I can do the same for someone else who's not someone like her, someone in my shoes, a mother or a homeschool mother, or whoever you are who might relate to this. I'm hoping someone is out there who will relate to this. So this is why I'm doing this part of Where Am I? Today's video is about where I am today, but I have to then go back to the past. So you know that I really loved to move. Teenage years, I had the anemia already from childhood, and so I was fainting a lot. I could never donate blood because I was either underweight, or when I finally gained weight, I had anemia. And on a good day, when my iron was okay, my blood pressure was too low. So I was never well. Come to my teenage years, and suddenly my fingers started to swell. I'm going through this because for those people who've always been sick, just to know that, you're not the only one. People like to minimize our suffering. Not all people. But I read a book, and the woman just irritated me so much. She was brandly, newly sick. And she was saying, oh, it's worse for me because I'm not used to this. At least the chronically ill. I'm like, what in the world? It's not any better. Our level of suffering is the same, even though we've lived it for 40 years. It's not like we wake up today and we're thinking, oh, well, I'm used to this. We don't get used to it. We just don't show it. And I wish our bodies could show it. I wish our faces could go purple or red or something, so that people know that smile is hiding a lot. Let me give them grace, and let me not say, oh, you're looking good today, because it's not, we don't feel it. But I know and there must be others who are too polite to say, well, what you're seeing is not the reality. I can't say that. So I just smile and say, is that lying by omission? If it is, oops. My fingers started swelling when I was a teenager. And my knees and my toes also would swell terribly, and my joints would be so painful, and the skin would blow up, like I've blown up, and then my skin would itch from the stretching. The stretching would cause itching. And I was told after some tests, I know the one test, they put a plastic thing in my eye, like a hook on my bottom eyelid, to induce tears, and the tears would mean something, or the lack of tears would mean some other thing. They never explained it to me. Maybe they explained it to my parents. I don't know. And so they told me I've got juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. That is a misnomer. It's a label that is no longer used. If you're in my generation or older, and that is what you were told, and if you're like me, if you translated that into rheumatoid arthritis, no, it's not the same. Juvenile rheumatoid arthritis is not the same as normal rheumatoid arthritis. So now they call it juvenile idiopathic arthritis, or if they know that you've got ankylosing spondylitis, they will call it juvenile ankylosing spondylitis. Times have moved on, but in my day, that's what they told me I have. So as time went on and symptoms got worse, because now in my 20s, that's when I started to feel my legs and my feet. That is when I started suffering at work more than other people. But then there was one girl who also used to complain about her back terribly. So I thought, oh well, she and I, we're just weaker than everyone else. That's what it is. It's just what it is. I didn't know that it was a sign of something. Come 2011, which made me 31, I got onto an exercise bike, and the pain in what I thought was my coccyx, it just came as I sat on that bike, shooting pain. And that was the end of it. That was when, from there on, the pain just blew up, and was not only now in winter. That pain, that lower back pain, was constantly there. So I went to the doctor. and then I went for MRIs and X-rays that year, 2011. They didn't see anything. And as you know from my medical gaslighting experience, if you watched that video, they were wrong. But I believed them. They didn't see anything. I did the physio, it didn't help. 2015, again, it had now ratcheted up another level. It had come to the point where I'd stopped asking God to heal me, but to help me, because I knew God heals instantaneously. So for me to pray for years and he hasn't, I figured, okay, he's not going to. So I asked him, okay, you're not making me better. Can you please give me the strength and grace to suffer properly? And I'm also angry with you, because how can you let me be a mother, give me all these desires to be a good mother, loving, attentive, playful, but I can't play with my children? That's not fair. And so we went on, me and God. And I had another MRI, 2015, same thing. No, there's nothing we can see. You know, maybe your disc is different on your lower back, but there was nothing to explain the level of pain I was feeling. And then I gave up. I'd gone to everybody, seen everybody. I'm not going to rehash the misunderstanding, to put it mildly, the blaming that all the other people who I'd seen had put on me for my suffering. So then we come to last year, 2022. I was now at the point where I was not asking for grace. I couldn't do it anymore. I could not. I was asking God to kill me. Okay, just kill me now, because I'm not getting better. I'm getting worse. The fatigue would be so bad that I would say to my husband, I wish I had a mother to take care of me. I wish I had a sister who would come help me. I wish I had family to nurture me, because I can barely get out of bed, and now I have to nurture the children. I am struggling so hard. I would have days where I feel like I'm dying. The exhaustion, it just hits, and it's like you're not going to wake up, that you will fall asleep, or the pain would be so strong or so bad that I would think, okay, I've been in pain like this for now 11 years. My heart is going to give up on me. Is it possible for your heart to, I was asking myself, is it possible for your heart to withstand so much suffering day after day without just giving in? I will die. I just felt like, okay, I'm dying anyway, a slow death. Just kill me. That will put me out of my misery. Then I will be, because I feel like I'm useless to my children. So just kill me. I'm not doing everything I can. I'm not doing everything I can when I would be able to if I was healthy. So what's the point of my life? Just kill me. Well, here I am, still alive, 2023. He also said no to that one too. So I lived. And December 2022, I thought, one more try. Just one more try. Maybe now there'll be something they can see. I don't know who can do what. I don't even know who. I've been to neurosurgeons. They'd injected my hip joint with cortisone. It didn't do anything except they hit a nerve, which caused worse pain. I'd been to everybody I could think of except a biokineticist. I'd been told I should see a biokineticist and they will tell me how to move. But I was thinking, but it's not movement that's causing the pain. It's inside my bones. So I never went to see one. I went to a pain clinic to say, okay, for many years, when doctors would tell me, okay, just take painkillers. And my problem was, but then that doesn't solve the problem. It just masks the symptom. We need a diagnosis, then we can fix it. I want to be fixed. I don't want to be on painkillers forever. If only I'd known. I don't want to be on painkillers forever, so can't we just fix it? So I ignored the painkillers. For 10 years, I ignored them completely. But now it was too much. I was really thinking, the pain, the strain on my heart from the pain will kill me anyway. So I might as well just go on the painkillers, at least have 10 good years of survival, and then just die from whatever the painkillers will do to my organs. Maybe stupid thinking or not logical, but drugs are not good. I know they're not good. And to take them daily, it's not good. So I went to the pain clinic. It was a GP, a female GP. She sent me for a bone scan. I'd never had a bone scan, which was stupid of me because I'd sent my dad for one. I paid my dad to have a bone scan. Why didn't I think of that? It happened in 2018, I think. But I never thought of myself for me. And yet I knew my problem was in my bones. So I did the bone scan, and finally, you couldn't argue with it. The report itself was it was true, because all the MRI reports had said no, there's nothing, and none of the doctors looked at the MRIs. So I don't know if they would have been qualified to see anything if they had looked, but they never looked. They read the reports. So this time the report was itself unequivocal: arthritis in my shoulders, in my elbows, my knees, and my pelvic area. Wow, there was so much arthritis across my pelvic girdle. My SI joints, I'd never really thought of SI joints ever. My hips and the crests of my sacroiliac joints, they were messed up. My foot, especially one foot, they were both feet, but one foot was really bad. And I thought, okay, finally, I can see. Finally, I was so relieved to finally be able to say, okay, guys, I had my bone scan and this is what it says. It says I am arthritic. But then the question is, what kind of arthritis? There are apparently 100 types of arthritis. So I asked the lady who sent me for the bone scan, the doctor, and she told me I had osteoarthritis. Oh, ordinary wear and tear, she said. And I thought, no way. This began before I could get worn and torn. It's not like I was running marathons. The longest I exercised was an hour a day, and I didn't exercise on Sabbaths and nor on Sundays. I just maybe took walks, yes, but there's no way I would have worn out my joints this much at such a young age. That is a lie. And one thing that was put in the bone scan, which might be a clue for anyone else who might have a bone scan in the future, they mentioned my SIJ indices, which was my sacroiliac joint index. That was actually very high, and especially for my right side, it was abnormally high, which indicates ankylosing spondylitis. She didn't know it. I definitely wouldn't have known it. I'd never even heard of ankylosing spondylitis. I didn't know that the SIJ index thing meant anything until after the diagnosis. And then I went back to my bone scan, and there it was. So I thought, okay, no, but this woman, she's talking, no, it's not true. I thought of going to a rheumatologist. I see the man, number one, rheumatologist number one. And he sends me for an MRI. Well, there we went again. And I thought, oh, great. Is this going to be like all those other MRIs? I went back for the results. And then he says, okay, I'm going to write a script. So I'm asking him, okay, what did the MRI tell you? I mean, you can't make me pay 13,000 Rand and not tell me what I paid, what I achieved by spending all that money. So he tells me he said it's highly indicative of ankylosing spondylitis. He sent me for blood test for a specific gene that would test for it, HLA-B27. Here's the thing. In general, black people who have AS, they won't test positive for the gene. It's not very common amongst black people anyway. It's more common amongst white patients to have it, to be positive for that gene. So it was really a pointless test, really. But hey, yeah, so that was negative. But then we had a diagnosis at last. And so I left him. I left him because he wrote out the script, folded it over, and handed it to me. And he had injected me each time I'd gone. So I asked him, okay, what have you been injecting me with? And he told me what it was. And I was thinking, but I should not have to ask you. You should be saying to me, okay, Mrs. Gomo, we're going to inject you with ABCD. It will do XYZ. He didn't. I asked him, okay, what is in the script? And he told me painkillers. Even a GP will tell you, I'm giving you Panado for the pain, take it 2 or 3 times a day. They'll say something. He just gave me the script and expected me to walk merrily off. I want to partner with my doctors. I don't want to be just some, just eating whatever you feed me. I am a sentient being. Treat me like one. So though he wasn't horrible, I left him because of that. I want to partner with my doctor. So it was sulfasalazine, or what you can call silazepyrin. I'd never heard of it before, never used it, and you had to go up the dose. You couldn't just begin on the 4 tablets a day that he had given me because of the horrible side effects. So your body has to get used to each dosage. I had the digestive side effects. It was horrible, but my body got used to it. And then he gave me omeprazole to protect my stomach lining from the third thing which he gave me, which was prednisone, to reduce inflammation. With the blood test, it also tested my levels of inflammation, and they were high. And that is when I noticed that from 2011, which was the first record I've got in my apps from the different blood places. That's what happens with multiple operations and being sick all the time, going to trauma all the time. You get many bloods tested. And from 2011, that's the earliest record I have, until 2023, my inflammatory markers were always higher than normal. But no doctor had ever picked up on it. No doctor had mentioned it. No doctor had tried to find out why. They just ignored it. The gynae did it. He just looked at what he was looking for, which is quite sad. Please, doctors, look at all our results, and if you see something off, even if it's got nothing to do with what you deal with, ask the person to see someone who could help. And high inflammation is not right. It's not normal. It's not healthy. There's a reason it's red and marked H, So I went to a different doctor, rheumatologist number 2. She was very nice, but she spoke at me. She didn't speak to me. We were not conversing. It was her just bombarding. Okay, she'd ask me questions, and then she'd bombard me with information. But what I did gain from her was that she went back and looked at my MRI from 2011 and from 2015. Not at the report, but at the actual images. And she even called me to the computer, showed me the screen. The inflammation was there in my SI joints. There was damage already. And then 2015, there was still inflammation, more widespread, more damage in my SI joint. So it had been there all along. Anyway, but the wrong people were looking at it. And so that was that. But there were other, besides the fact that she was talking at me, giving me lots of information, but not getting much from me as a person, there were other admin issues. And when I told them that, okay, my pain levels are increasing, what can I do? They ignored me. So I moved on to rheumatologist number 3. Rheumatologist number 3 I saw in August of this year. In January, when I first saw the rheumatologist, I was able to, touch my toes. Like when you're standing, bend down, touch your toes, like when you're stretching your hamstrings, stretching your hamstrings, your calves, whatever you're doing when you're stretching. I could do it in January. In August, I can't now even. I can't touch my toes anymore without bending my knees. But back then I could. I could touch my toes without bending my knees. Now I can't. There's a lot of space between where my fingers ended and where my toes are. It's not even my ankles, it's maybe halfway up my leg, up my calf. So my mobility, my bones, it got worse as just in a year. And another one, for example, in August they gave me exercises to do, and I'll show the picture of one. I'll show the man and what I'm meant to do, which is what I was meant to do. I was meant to hold that for 30 seconds and do it 3 times. And then there were a whole lot of other exercises to try and keep mobility in your joints, to slow down fusing of your joints. Okay, so ankylosing spondylitis, I might not give you all the information, but what it does is it's high levels of inflammation throughout your body, and it's an autoimmune disease that begins with your bones, especially your sacroiliac joints at the bottom of your spine and your back, and then going up. I even have it in my neck also. In fact, the rheumatologist number 3 is surprised that I can still turn my neck. Isn't that sad? Would you ever thought that you'd ever not be able to turn your neck? Like, we take it for granted. So ankylosing spondylitis number 1 didn't doctor number 1 didn't even explain what it is. I had to go and Google it, and then I joined groups and support groups, etc. That's how I got information about it. It's incurable. There is no cure. You can go into remission where the symptoms die down, but it can wake up again. I've never reached that stage. Mine has steadily been going up. It's progressive. It gets worse. That's me. It gets worse, and I'm seeing it because in August, that exercise that I mentioned, the one that you do 3 times for 30 seconds each, in August I could do 2 30-second holds. I couldn't do the third one. I couldn't. Now I can't even finish the first one, and I can't even hold my arms straight like the man in the picture. My bones are weighing me down. I can't I can't straighten my arms. My back is not allowing me to straighten my arms, and my back is weighing me down. Like there's a force of gravity pushing me to come back straight down instead of bending. It's telling me, I'm not into this. I want to be straight. I don't know if that means my bones are fusing over here. I don't know what's happening inside, but obviously something bad is happening. So that's where I am right now, where I'm losing mobility. There are other exercises as well that I can't do anymore. And that is where I can see fusing or something going on in my SI joints themselves. So it's not only my back, but my SI joints are also losing mobility also. And this continues. So one day you'll be like this, not necessarily if we can find a treatment that slows it down a lot, but you will find people who are like ramrod straight. They can't move their necks anymore. You have to turn your whole body. And the thing is, this is what my husband said so many months ago, and what my doctor said as well. When we'd be taking walks and I would turn to listen to what my husband is saying, when I turn, he would say, but why are you turning your whole body? You would normally turn your neck, but I'll be moving my body also. So my neck is stiffening. Yeah. It's scary. So some people can be ramrod straight. Some people, they fuse bent over. It goes like that, kyphosis, that one, that curvature, like the hunchback, the humpback. That's what can happen. And then you're facing down for the rest of your life, always looking down. But it's sad. That's not how you expect life to go. It really is not. I never, ever expected that I will be diagnosed with a disease that can cause disability, permanent disability. So I'd been given 3 different types of medication or tablets by rheumatologist number 2. Rheumatologist number 3, without my even mentioning that the pain is not under control, she gave me anti-inflammatories for the pain and to slow down the fusing. Apparently, I didn't know this, but they slow down fusing. I don't know why rheumatologist number 1 didn't do it. Rheumatologist 2 did try, but she gave me a very low dose, so it made no difference to the pain. So here we are, higher dose anti-inflammatories. I could feel relief in my joints. It was not as bad at all. Normally, I would say I'm at a pain level of 7 out of 10 with painkillers. Like right now, I'm sitting here, I'm feeling it going up right now as I sit, but there's nothing I can do. The days of crying are over. It's so excruciating. I can't cry. You know, like when you're giving birth, where it's so bad, you can't cry. That's how bad it is. When I was in my late 20s, early 30s, that's when I would be standing at the stove, and at 15 minutes, I can't stand anymore. The pain is too bad. I'd come into my room, lock the door so my children don't barge in and find me crying, and cry. But it became so bad that it's beyond crying. You just breathe through it and just try and grin and bear it. What else can you do? Plus, that's the thing with chronic pain. Chronic is constant. It's daily. I can't subject my family to daily waking up and telling them, okay, guys, it's another bad day. It's stupid. So she gave me those. But she gave me that fourth medicine, the anti-inflammatory, to slow down the fusing and to reduce the pain. But unfortunately, my kidney function has gone down. It's not normal. It's mild kidney dysfunction. It's about stage 2 kidney failure, whatever it's called. Stage 2 kidney disease. That's where my levels are at the moment. So my nephrologist, my kidney specialist, he said I have to stop the anti-inflammatory, otherwise we're going to really kill my kidneys. I can feel the difference without them. It's bad. And if it wasn't for what they do, is they give you something to help you sleep. Otherwise, you will not sleep. You won't sleep. So if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would survive. And there are some times where I have such a bad flare that even through those sleeping tablets, that sleeping tablet, half of one, I will wake up anyway and be unable to sleep. And again, I will come 2023. Imagine, I've got the diagnosis, but I'm still saying, okay, God, this is too much. Kill me. So when someone you know has been diagnosed with a disease that is incurable, progressive, when they express a state of mourning, don't tell them, oh, well, at least you know what it is now. Because we didn't want to know that it's incurable. We wanted to get a diagnosis so we can be cured, so we can be treated, so we can be like other people of our age. We wanted to be able to move, to live, to eat. I can't even eat at the table with my family. I have to eat lying down. It's because now I've been standing, I've been dishing out. It's too much. I can't do the standing and dishing out and lie down. I can't do feed my twins and sit up. So I have to lie down. I just said something wrong there, didn't I? I can't do the dishing out standing and go sit down also. It will be too much. I can't feed my daughter sitting and still go sit for myself, because the twins eat earlier than we do, and then sit. I can't. That is something many people who are healthy take for granted, the ability to sit with their families. And that's something that's been taken from me, and it has not been returned. So when you've tried, I know some do try sulfasalazine, some try methotrexate, some try something else, and the anti-inflammatories. And then the final stage is biologics. So those are usually mostly injectable. You first start with the injectables. I will show you a picture of my needle now, I hope. You inject it once a week. It can be 25 milligrams. This is my one. My one is Enbrel. Or 50 milligrams. I'm on the 50 milligram dose. I inject myself once a week subcutaneously, which is not in my muscle specifically. So it's thighs or stomach. I have to pinch, get the fat and then pinch. And you can do back of arms, but no one in my family is brave enough. My husband is scared of needles. He's never around when I need to inject myself. It really freaks him out. So this is a one-woman venture. So if that doesn't work, you have to try another one. And there's the thing, it's trial and error. You either have to stop because the side effects are unbearable. Thankfully, my side effects have never been unbearable. Some people's side effects are life-threatening. That has not happened to me yet. In general, what these biologics do is, as I said, it's an autoimmune disease, though some argue. So your immune system is fighting against your bones, your body. For me, it's my lungs also. My lungs are also impacted. They're fibrotic, especially my right lung. It's not taking in enough air. See, it's not a nice disease. It's not just arthritis. And I don't know how to get that across to some people, because they act like it's a mild thing. It's just pain. It's more than pain. It's my knowing that I'm losing the ability to move, and knowing that my organs are not in a healthy state, and knowing that I've got many more years, and therefore they've got many more years to deteriorate also. And knowing my children, my youngest children, are only 4 years old. So they're going to need me for a long time. And some of my children will never be independent. They will ever need me. So I need to be tip-top shape, healthy, but I'm not, and I'm only 43. So there's a season of mourning every now and then. You just mourn the person you want to be. I can't even clean one room in one go. Just sweeping and vacuuming or sweeping and mopping. I can't even do that. Just one room in one go. That's not for me. I want to be able to work. I want to be able to clean everything, dust the shelves, tidy up at least one room a day, besides the dishes and the children, school, preparation for lessons, doing research. Okay, there's a lot. But I still want to have the energy at least. But AS fatigue, it comes with fatigue also. It's like you're walking around carrying an elephant on your body and it doesn't want to leave. You are stuck with that elephant. There's the pain at night. You wake up and you are stiff. This week has been particularly bad. I get weeks that I'm so and weeks that are bad. Where my husband this week, he was saying, oh my word, you look like you shouldn't even try to walk. You look like you should be in a wheelchair. That's how stiff I was. I can barely walk. Sometimes my leg just gives way, it buckles. It can't carry me, and I feel like I'm going to fall, and there's this sharp pain when that happens. Where am I now? I was meant to be talking about where I am. So that's where I am. I'm on Enbrel. They say it takes 2 months to 3 months to see if it works. Unfortunately, though I started in August, I'm in November. I can't tell you because I got. Here's the thing, right? So I was explaining it's an autoimmune disease. Your body is fighting against your body. Your immune system is fighting against your body. So the biologics try and bring down the strength of the immune system, to put it in layman's terms. So, but now, if my immune system has been reduced in strength, I hope that was grammatically correct, then how will it fight colds and flus and other infections? It won't be as effective. So that is one of the risks. AS on its own, just having ankylosing spondylitis, we assume from the high levels of inflammation, it has a higher risk of certain cancers. But now the biologics also come with the higher risk of certain cancers too. Like you don't actually, yeah. And also I want to mention this. It is different for everybody. Some people have mostly mild cancer. Some people have mild AS. Some people have severe AS. The mild people can, take care of it with diet and they'll be fine. Some they can't. Diet will not make a difference. I'm one of them. I've been there. I was there for many years already. Even before I knew, I was already on an autoimmune anti-inflammatory diet. I was off gluten anyway because of my irritable bowel syndrome. And our diet is Seventh-day Adventist, the healthiest you can be. It was already anti-inflammatory by nature. So I was on that and it made no difference. My AS kept progressing anyway. But I'm still going to be on it because maybe it's reducing how bad it could be. Maybe by now my back would be bent. Maybe by now I would be stiff and unable to turn already, So you can't just discount the dietary thing just because it hasn't cured you or totally stopped the disease. That's my point. Who knows? So you try those injections, and if they don't work, then you can try infusions, which are drips that you have usually at the office, doctor's office, nurse's office. Some people just have to give up on trying any treatment because either none work or they all have such terrible side effects that it will kill them. Or if they're diagnosed with cancer, from what I've seen, then you never will ever be put on a biologic because then the next cancer, you can't fight it, the cancer. So if your body's already susceptible to having it, then they're not going to give you something that will then just wake it up, so to speak. Because this is a horrible disease. Guys, I don't know how to explain. I was on Enbrel for 5 weeks only, and then I caught a coronavirus, got sick, so I had to be off it. Because as I said, it reduces your immune system, and we need my immune system to fight. So we have to go off it until I'm better. And then I had to be off it for 2 weeks before surgery I had a growth, sorry. And it had to be removed. So I have to be 2 weeks off it and then 2 weeks off it after the surgery. So I've had only 5 weeks of and well, 5 weeks of Inbrel, and then 1 week, and then off it again for a month. And I've only just begun this past week. This time, the first day was the thigh, the skin, a welt. It was not nice, but it's mostly for me digestive issues. That's what I get. Pain in my stomach, heartburn, nausea, just feeling horrible in my stomach, not being able to finish my food, feeling full when I'm not full. That's what I'm going through, and extra fatigue, as if we're not fatigued enough as it is. Those are my inbral side effects. I don't know if it will work. I need to be on it for 2 or 3 months consistently. But the thing is, the story of my life is other things keep happening. And my question, and my husband's, is it linked to AS? Or is it just, I don't know, story of Job? That the devil just keeps throwing other things at me on top of the AS? Because why all these operations? Why all these growths in different parts? The tumors here, the polyps there. Why? So the surgeon, the urologist, he said that I might need to do it. The damage was really bad that he had to undo, besides the growth that I had that he removed, which is sent to pathology. I'm assuming it's not positive for any cancer, but I had a very narrowed urethra. I'll be honest, I'll be open. And I went to, because I couldn't pee properly. The pee wouldn't come out. It would come out and I'd have to force it out. And sometimes I couldn't get the last drips out. I have to be honest, because maybe someone else might have that, and it might help you to go and see a urologist. And when they opened me up during surgery and did the x-ray first, fluoroscopy, my urethra was extremely narrow, like strangled narrow. So why does this stuff keep happening? And now more than ever, I need to be operation free. No surgeries, please. No more on my hand, no more on my elbow, no more on my abdomen. I just need to be free so I can try and see if this Inbrel is working. Because if it's not, then I have to move on to something else. And in the meantime, if it's taking that long to work, that means the disease continues to progress while we wait and watch and wait. And that is a horrible and scary place to be, because the pain is indescribable. People have committed suicide, and I understand them. I cannot blame them a single bit. I mean, if I was asking God, kill me, that's just a lame way of saying, I wish I could kill myself. So I won't bear no animosity. The other way that people can die, besides the extra cancers, besides the lung issues like me, there was this woman. What happens is your ribs. So we have to do breathing exercises, open our lungs wide, wide open, not wide open then, wide, because it can fuse your ribs. It fuses your bones, like makes them stiff. It forms bone over bone, but that new bone that forms is not bendable. It's not flexible. So it forms and it's hard. It's inflexible, and it's also easily broken, which is why I have to do low impact exercises. I was told I should not at all do jumping, running, because I can break my bones. So there I am. You have this thing. Now imagine your ribs. If they are not moving, when you breathe in, then you can't expand your lungs, because your ribs are stopping them from expanding. So what happened is, she probably had lung issues like mine. My lungs are already not working as it is properly. And I don't know if it'll get worse. I don't know. I know it doesn't get better. So I'm already operating with poor lungs, poor lung capacity. I feel it when I'm exercising and trying to sing. And now, if my lungs, as damaged as they are, don't have space to open up, where they at least at the top are not damaged, then you can't expel disease properly when you've got pneumonia or a chest infection. So what happened with this one AS lady, she got a chest infection and her lungs couldn't operate. They couldn't expel the gunk, want to call it that, the phlegm, the mucus. She died. 2 days. 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 2 days Some of our people have had to have ribs removed surgically to try and give their lungs space to move. And again, this is what I mean when I say people minimize what this is. It's not just an arthritis like osteoarthritis, not to minimize what those people go through. But this is more than pain. This is life altering and can be life threatening. And for those of us whose kidneys and lungs are already under strain, it is life threatening. And well, I keep being told by so many doctors, even like gastroenterologists, that AS can cause heart problems. And I know every visit they check my heart. So guys, please take AS seriously. If you know someone especially who is like me, uncontrolled AS, nothing yet is working, that person is under severe mental strain that they might not be expressing. It's not like I'm going around every day saying, yo, people, tomorrow my lungs might be worse, or tomorrow my ribs might be frozen and I won't be able to breathe. But it's there. Every time we have to do the exercise, we are aware of why we're doing those exercises. And every time I cannot do a form or forms, as it is, of exercise, it's a reminder that my bones are being restricted in movement. And then the question is, and then what will happen, and when will it happen to my ribs, and what if it has already begun? So I just wanted to tell you where I am today. I'm in excruciating pain. I told the rheumatologist honestly that, okay, I'm taking the prescribed pain medication, but I'm also mingling other medication in between, and I'm still suffering terribly. So next month, we will do facet blocks. So we'll do injections directly into each of those joints and try and reduce the pain. It can work, it cannot work. It's not guaranteed. If it does work, it can work for 1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, and then it stops working. It's a horrible disease. I just hope that Enbrel will be my magic bullet. I don't want to try something else because at least I know these side effects are manageable. Though it can cause inflammatory bowel disease. You can Google inflammatory bowel disease. You don't want that. So, but then AS can also cause inflammatory bowel disease anyway. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. That is the story of AS. You have no choice. You just do what's best for you, and yeah, you leave the results with God. He said no to healing me, so he'll just have to see me through the side effects of what I'm trying in order to slow it down. Not to cure it, but to slow it down. Thank you for listening. I just hope that if you're in my shoes, that we can just keep each other company. Send me an email. Let me know where you are, how you're feeling. And as a mother, as a Christian, as someone who's got more responsibilities than support, like physical support, as someone who has to go through every day pretending to be okay, unable to rest, let me know, because that's who I am. Get in touch with me if you feel alone. If you feel alone, I'm here. We can feel alone in our own little homes together, and we'll pray for each other. If we are Christian, we'll pray for each other. Just hold on a little while longer, please. And let's hope that we get a way forward. And if you're one of those who doesn't have a way forward anymore, I'm really sorry. It is a scary place to be. I understand. I really do. I do understand how scary and isolating it is. We can hope for a miracle, I guess. Miracle cure. Another new biologic that might come along. I don't know. But just I can't even tell you to keep holding on, because it's hell. It's hell. But what can we do here? We just keep tracking on. And if you're Christian, I know what we need to do is continue to try be a blessing to other people. And that is the aim of my channel, to try be a blessing to those in my shoes, and to also just educate and just to share my own thoughts about life. That's why I'm doing this. I hope for better days soon. I hope that January will bring me some relief, or at least February will bring me some relief. And I hope the same for you too, whatever your disease may be. Because as I said, the lupus people, I've watched 2 videos by interviews by people who have lupus. One was sent to me because the person, before we're diagnosed, because the person sounded like what I was going through. And 2 doctors, my nephrologist and rheumatologist number 2, even said to me that, you sound like you're a lupus patient also, not just AS. So yeah, we will keep each other going. We will hope for the best for each other. We will try and be a blessing in our small spheres, and we will brighten the corner where we are. We can't go out and mingle like everyone else, but we can be a blessing where we are, and I hope that we will continue to be so. Bye.